Hello and welcome to the Golden Hour, a content series from us here at the Horizon League. I'm Rachel White here with
Josh Moon with UW Green Bay.
All right, let's just start with that. Josh, kind of your background and your path here to becoming Director of Athletics at Green Bay.
Yeah, so I grew up in Wautoma, Wisconsin, which is about an hour and a half southwest of here, small town. Son of a high school football coach, so kind of grew up around sports, and then ended up going to lacrosse, Wisconsin lacrosse for school, and then just kind of worked my way up the last, 17, 18 years, and then ended up at Green Bay here about 4 years ago.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite thing about your current role?
Probably the best thing is, seeing things that we are doing and then how do we make them better. So, we talk to our student athletes all the time about, is UW Green Bay better than when they arrived, right? That's our goal, is to make it a better experience than when they first stepped on campus. I think we've done that in the 4+ years I've been here, and we got a lot of work left to do, but that's the goal.
Very cool. One of the things you guys have done recently is bring in Mark Murphy as your executive in residence. Can you talk a little bit about what that is and kind of how that came about?
Yeah, it's from a relationship with Mark and the Packers. They've been so great to us over the years, and Mark's had a relationship with many of the ADs here. So Mark is passionate about athletics, Division I athletics specifically, being a former AD. So is this a natural fit for his next chapter? He believes in what we're doing and where this university can go. How do we get to 20,000 students and really be reflective of the power of this region, which is really strong and in terms of the economy and some of the big companies here and things. So Mark just brings just a level of expertise that we were like beyond excited that he wanted to do this.
Yeah, that's really cool. What advice would you have for maybe some of our current student athletes or just students in general that might want to get into this field? Like, what should they be doing now to maybe prepare themselves for that?
I think be prepared to move around. I left Wisconsin in 2004 and didn't make it back till 2021.
Okay.
So a lot of people, they want to stay in their home area or their home base.
Yeah.
And I think this profession, if you want to maybe get to, certain spots or certain chairs, you definitely need to move and be comfortable with that. I think it also pushes you outside your comfort zone, meet new people. So it's probably the best thing that could have happened to me was, going to, 3 other states in the Midwest and experiencing those places.
Yeah.
Helps me with everything I'm doing here. So that's probably the biggest thing is being able to move and then, finding that right spot, getting experience. The degree is important, but when you're competing, everyone has that degree or a degree.
Yeah, sure.
So what's going to set you apart?
For sure. What are some exciting things happening or coming soon to kind of just Green Bay, the campus in general?
Yeah, so the campus is over 25% growth in the last couple of years for enrollment. So, even like 10 years ago, there's 5,000 more students here. So we're approaching 12,000 students, which is amazing. And the goal of, how do we get to 15? How do we get to 20,000 students? And so that's really exciting. There's a new building going up on campus that is awesome. A new residence hall just went up.
Very cool.
So a lot of development on campus. And then for athletics, we're looking at, what is the next chapter here from what we need for capital, for facilities, and, how do we separate ourselves from our friends in the Horizon League and really, compare with some of the best mid-majors in the Midwest. That's really our goal. So looking at a lot of things, but I'd say the facility stuff is on the horizon that we got to really take a look at in the next couple of years.
Oh, for sure. Makes a lot of sense. We talk a lot about major cities in the Horizon League. What makes Green Bay a major city?
Yeah, first off, the name recognition of the Packers.
For sure.
Everybody knows Green Bay, so I think the brand recognition is really powerful. It's a very passionate, obviously, fan base. Even last year with our men's basketball program, struggled with wins, but we still had, top 4 or 5 attendance in the league. It says a lot about our fans. They care. They want people that work hard, that compete hard, that achieve at the highest levels academically. They love that. So we got a great fan base. I think for us, it's there's not a saturated market. This is the only Division I program north of Madison in the state. So capturing that and really there's a lot of people. People say Green Bay and they think it's just the city of Green Bay and it's the smallest NFL market. Within an hour of this campus, there's 750,000 people ish. So understanding the valley to down to Sheboygan and just the Green Bay, kind of the region here, Northeast Wisconsin is very large. So tapping into that and getting people to really feel like this is their Division I program, that's our challenge. And obviously we've got to win to do that, but people need to embrace that and say, okay, this should be reflective of the university, and athletics should be the driver for all this being a Division I institution.
For sure. What do you recommend visitors do if they come to Green Bay? Maybe they've never been here before. They know about the Packers, but they don't know much else.
There's a lot to do here. So it's the food piece. So you're going to have everything fried. Your fried green beans, fried pickles, fried cheese curds, obviously. I'd say the fresh cheese curds are, people think cheese curds outside the state and they're thinking that's the fried kind, but really the fresh cheese curds would be the go-to, because you go into grocery stores, it's just aisles and aisles of cheese. So you better like cheese. And there's a lot of breweries here. I think that's another thing people love. And then just the outdoors, within an hour or so, you can go to some pretty awesome state parks on Lake Michigan.
Nice.
And, if you like to hike, if you like to ski, it has pretty much everything you'd want. And then there's actually a lot of concerts here too. So from the different venues around, there's a couple venues that are just awesome that, for your 10,000, kind of show to your couple thousand show. So you have a lot of variety with concerts too.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, kind of being a music guy. And then the last thing I personally like here is, there's like a pinball mecca here. So if you like pinball, there's a lot of, one of the largest pinball, in one facility. I think there's 110 pinballs in De Pere, Wisconsin, which is
very cool.
About 20 minutes away. But if you're a pinball fanatic, this is like an awesome paradise for you.
That's amazing. I did not know that. You learn something new every day. Okay, that's a great fun fact. I love that. What do you enjoy most about being part of the Horizon League?
Yeah, I think it's a real collegial. Everyone works together. The coaches, student athletes, ADs, everybody. We love what the Horizon League staff does, and always thinking, forward thinking. So I think it's just a lot of the institutions are similar, in terms of size and some of the strengths, some of the challenges. We all share those. I think it's just a real forward-thinking league, and we work together well.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, one last question for you. We like to end every golden hour with a start, bench, cut, so kind of more of like a fun question. So we know beer is very popular here in these parts. So we're going to give you 3 beer types if you want to rank them. Start, bench, cut. Are you a beer guy?
So.
Okay, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how you feel about these. So we know you have Phoenix Rising, which is kind of a wheat ale. And then Spotted Cow is very popular here. We always have people in Indy asking us to bring some back. And then just an IPA. So how do those kind of stack up for you?
IPA is third, distance third. I mean, I don't get it.
Cut it, all right.
Yeah, cut it. Spotted Cow for sure, number one, because there's something different there. I mean, for people, living outside the state, people within 3 or 4 states, they all know Spotted Cow, and there's kind of a cult following there. So I'd say you have to do that. The Phoenix Rising is great. It's like a Blue Moon-esque type of flavor, so that's really good. But yeah, you're in Wisconsin, it's Spotted Cow.
Okay, perfect. Love that. Once again, I'm Rachel White here with
Josh Moon.
This has been another episode of the Golden Hour. Be sure to follow @Horizon League for all the latest news and updates.